It seemed a little ridiculous. Some of them seemed really bad, including the roughing the passer on me. That's not roughing the passer. Might as well play sarcastic ball if we're going to call those things. And I thought the one on Kinlaw was not roughing the passer either. So.
What is up with y'all? It's Coffee. Back talking some NFL. Hit the comments, everyone, as the season inches along, just damn near at the halfway mark. Let me know how your squad's doing, who you play this week, etc. Let's talk it all, man. But you hear Aaron Rodgers there. That was a couple weeks ago after that primetime loss to my Buffalo Bills, man, right after the Jets made the decision to fire their coach. The Jets, I just don't get it. They were like, yo, we're a contender. We can compete now. We can compete for the division. And they went out there and took a L, man. I don't care who they bring, who they add to the team, Devontae, all these other players, whatever. They're just not a good squad. They're not making the playoffs. And that's just facts, if you ask me. You let me know if you agree. But peep it, man. This is pretty big news here as after that game, right? It was a sloppy-ass game. It was I guess somewhat of a close game, you could say, but it was one of those games where just the better team outlasted lesser squad. It was a divisional matchup. Sometimes those games are like that. As a Bills fan, I mean, how many times during the Patriots dynasty did we take them the distance, but the better team finds a way to make one more play or just do what they got to do to get the W, the Jets just suck, man. I'm sorry, man. And Rodgers too. You ever see the way that man's eyes open up so wide, like the amphetamines just kicked in or something? I swear too. He looks like from Mario Brothers, a Goomba. He's like a Goomba in a face looking ass motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? But check it out. This was a big deal after that game. The game was super sloppy. It felt like a preseason game. All these missed kicks and extra points, but 1,000,001,000,001 flags. It was outrageous, And it was interesting too there that Rodgers not just called out the calls against his team, but he even said that sack that AJ Epinesa had, would be a huge momentum shifter. Oh, third down, Rodgers goes down, sack, Bills are getting the ball punted to him, defense comes up big, the momentum shifts. Oh, BS roughing the passer call, the Jets drive stays alive. It's just outrageous. It's been terrible this season, and I respect that Rodgers not only called out the refs on both sides towards both teams, and the NFL has this policy, where if you criticize the officials, you get fined. And I think that's whack as hell too. It's almost like a dictator, policy. And what does everyone think about that too, with all this side conversation, right? With Trump being labeled a dictator. I don't know if you guys saw, I did a video on it. It's not really hitting in the algorithm like that. The Dominator, the greatest goaltender ever in the game of hockey, Dominic Hasek, shouted out Eminem, after that rally, saying Eminem is standing up against dictatorships and all that, and he knows all about that from the country in which he came from. Comment and let me know what you guys think about that, as well as everything we touch on this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the buttons and all that. But for real, you can't criticize the officials at all. I never understood that at all. If a player goes up there and is just bashing the league and talking ish and just being negative or something like that, that's one thing. But if you go up there and address a call and compare it to the interpretation of the rule and just state your claim, almost on a debate forum, what's wrong with that? Why can't players do that? And I really feel that's almost like some dictator style type stuff from the NFL, But when Rodgers did this, I remember seeing it and saying, oh man, he's in trouble. They're about to hit him in the pockets. That's how they do. They hit you in the pockets. And I think that's wrong. Again, if it's put together properly in a respectful manner, I don't see anything wrong with the players speaking out. But it seems the NFL has made their decision and Rodgers is not going to face a fine, right? The way it goes is for on the field play, like a dirty hit or something like that, the league announces those fines levied against a player. But something that happens off the field, they don't, okay? But an insider with firsthand knowledge, just saying, hey, they have punished Rodgers in some way, but he is escaping this unscathed in the pocketbooks, right? Rodgers, one of them guys, he's probably got a pocketbook in a handbag. I'm sorry, y'all, I just like busting Rodgers' balls a little bit. Pause, right? But for real, what do you guys think about that? Why did they decide not to fine Aaron Rodgers, and what could the punishment be against him if it isn't a fine? I'm curious to know, and why the league with this strict "you can't criticize our officials" dictator policy. Why did they not fine Rodgers? Is it because maybe the way he went about doing it, or what? I don't know. Because I always look at Rodgers as a guy that the media in the league loves to hate, in a sense, because he isn't afraid to go against the grain. That's one thing about Rodgers. Like, you hear me cracking some jokes at his expense, having a little fun, but Rodgers will go against the grain. He's not afraid to stand on his own square, and I respect him for that. But interesting that he escaped this unscathed in the pocketbooks, no fines. Then we got Fitz Magic, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzbeard, going at Tom Brady. I'm a bit confused by this situation here. As we know, Ryan Fitzpatrick transitioned from being a quarterback, a journeyman quarterback, right, to NFL broadcasting, and Tom Brady is doing some NFL broadcasting as well. And, they've went up each other a ton of times when he was the starter for my Buffalo Bills. Bills Mafia has a lot of love for Fitz. He brought a lot of hope and some excitement to the games when the Bills were in the middle of that drought, man. Like once Trent Edwards was up out of here, this was Fitz's team. The offense had love for and respected Fitz. Fred Jackson, Donald Jones, Stevie Johnson, they all had mad love for Fitz. He played with a lot of heart. He didn't quit. That one season, man, if he didn't crack his ribs, or they would have arrested him for a couple of weeks when we were 5-2, like we could have made a ran at it, man. I'll never remember during that drought when the Bills, we couldn't beat the Patriots. Fitz did the impossible. That one year, I think it was the 2011 season, coming out of the lockout, he beat the Patriots in the 7-1-6 in that comeback game. Wasn't that so wild? You guys remember that at the end of the game, the Bills come back down by like 20 points. Fred Jackson on the one dives and is called down on the one. Bill Belichick is challenging. I swear I've never seen a time that a coach challenged that the other team did score. He wanted his offense to get one more shot getting the ball back, but nonetheless the challenge came back that he was down on the one. The Bills took a knee, and as time expired, I think it was still Ryan Lindell kicked the winning field goal. It was amazing, man. Bills Mafia was turned. We did it. We defeated the evil empire thanks to Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, going out there and doing his thing. It's so crazy with Fitz. If he took a pay cut when EJ Manuel came to town, he still would have been a Bill, but he ended up moving on from Buffalo and going on to create a quarterback controversy with every team that he played with after that. It is crazy with Fitz. He played what I call bipolar football. You never knew. He'd go out there sometimes and look like Joe Montana, and then other times look like Bubby frickin' Brister. You never know if you're going to get Fitz magic or Fitz tragic, is the way a lot of people like to say it. But here he is going at Tom Brady, and a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneer media outlets are calling this out as like some cornball-ish. One former Buccaneer QB calling out another former Buccaneer QB. They're like saying, what are you trying to do here, Fitz? Are you trying to build your brand and get a bunch of Buccaneer fan pages and accounts to think you're funny or something like that? As he said, hey, Tom Brady, any calls by the refs or teams you have criticisms for lately? Just curious to get your take on all the flags. And I'm not really understanding this, like this is being looked at as a diss. Is he calling Brady a crybaby, like Brady used to cry out there on the field? So like, hey, do you want to do this as a broadcaster? Or is he just looking at it like, oh, Brady, you're doing broadcasting now, so fuck what I gotta say. You're the guy, like you're the golden boy. I don't know. This is being looked at as him busting Brady's balls. Pause. I don't know. You know, this is being looked at in a lot of ways as a diss. What do you make of this, you know? And what is your thoughts about everything we touched on?
They're overvalued. Philly is overvalued. Their back-to-back wins came against the Browns, maybe the worst team in the league, and the Giants. They're overvalued.
And then last up, man, you hear Colin Cowherd there saying the Eagles are an undervalued team, right? As Cincinnati, who is 3-4, taking on the 4-2 Eagles. The Bengals are actually the favorites in this game. As you see, the game is in Cincy. And what do you guys think? You see them painting the end zone white and all that as they're rocking those white alternate third jerseys. Do you guys like those jerseys? I remember those were the jerseys that they were rocking when they put Tua out of commission. You know, do you guys remember that a few years back when Tua had those multiple concussions in the game against the Bills? He went out there a few weeks later and got laid out against the Bengals, and they were rocking the white on whites or the white alternate jerseys. Do you guys like those jerseys? What do you think about them painting that end zone up? Your thoughts across the board. Does your team wear an alternate jersey? Are you a fan of it, etc.? Let's talk about it all. But someone's pointing out saying this is stupid that they're the favorites. They are playing in Cincy, so home field advantage or whatever. But someone's saying, like, how are they going to say, like Cowherd, they're saying this is an asinine take from an asinine idiot. Ren and Stimpy voice, right? Because they're saying, look at the Bengals. 2 of their wins are against the Giants and the Browns. So how are the Eagles an undervalued team when they have more wins than the Bengals and they both have beaten the same teams we're talking about? Like, what sense does this really make is what people are saying. And what do you think about that? And what is your thoughts going into this game? Shout out to my homegirl, Donna. Big Eagles fans. Are the Eagles going to be a playoff team? Do you guys think are the Bengals and Joe Burrow, will the real Slim Shady please stand? Will he stand up? I keep cracking it up when I see Burrow with that Slim Shady bleach blonde hair, you know, as they're an under 500 team. Will the Bengals get things going? What do you think about Cowherd here? Does he sound like an idiot? And what is your thoughts about everything we touched on in this video? Leave it in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. It's been another episode of Coffee. Make sure to hit the buttons for me. Help me out algorithmically. Help me break on through to the other side. And, you know, we also, if you're new, we cover other sports, music, current events, all kinds of ish on this channel. It's all about hearing from y'all, the people. So thanks again for watching and your support. Hit the button, subscribe. Have a great day. Tomorrow we'll be talking football all day. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.